Welcome to our first episode of the ARK Dino Dossier, in which we'll cover maybe the best known dinosaur with the tiniest arms relative to its body, the Tyrannosaurus. The Tyrannosaurus Dominis, based on the Tyrannosaurus rex, is a carnivorous theropod that lived in the Cretaceous period some 68 to 66 million years ago. The Tyrannosaurus can range up to 15 meters in length, and being bipedal, 6 meters in height. They are covered in small circular scales. Their underbelly, however, is smooth and tan. Along their neck and back there is a large ridge of hard bony plates that may be used to protect their vertebrae. They have proportionally long legs that end with 3 thick padded toes, each decorated with 1 claw. They possess disproportionately small arms. Strangely, these arms are heavily muscular and extremely thick. They are among the deadliest creatures on the island. The Tyrannosaurus dominus is a killing machine, active mostly when hunting for food or defending its nest. It's highly aggressive and will attack anything within their sight, granted it's alive, of course. However, unlike most other predators within the game, they seem to prefer the larger prey. A Tyrannosaurus at level 1 has 1000 health, 420 stamina, it can carry up to 500 weight, and does 60 points worth of melee damage. And I personally know that the damage in this game is the closer you are, the more percentage of the damage it will do. So when you're standing in his face, it'll do 100%. If it still hits you but you're further away, it will do less damage. Keep that in mind, because it's also the same for the Giga and all the other dinosaurs. With big splash damage, of course. Let's continue. It has 100% movement speed, which means 515 for walking and 736.5 for sprinting and 300 for swimming. This means that the human with a sprinting speed of 892 can outrun a Tyrannosaurus. Where can I find a Tyrannosaurus? Well, the T-Rex, if I may, is usually found land inwards, in forests and rivers. Like mentioned in the Jurassic Park movies, large predators like the Tyrannosaurus mainly avoid the coastline, though quite a lot of Tyrannosauruses spawn in the cove on the southeastern shores. Once you have found yourself a Tyrannosaurus, you can decide to tame it. And there are several ways to go about this. There are 2 phases: knocking the Tyrannosaurus out and taming it. The first phase, knocking it out, is relatively easy, and there are multiple ways to go about this. Ideally, you want to have 2 people, one to kite the Tyrannosaurus and the other to shoot the tranquilizer arrows or darts. Due to its sprinting speed, it's quite easy to outrun it if you're not shooting with the bow at it. So you want one to run around and the other one to shoot it. Alternatively, you could do it while being picked up by an Argentavis, a Pteranodon, or a Quetzal, and then just shoot it. Once you down the T-Rex, the second phase starts: taming it. The same for most animals. You want to deplete its hunger, and then feed it. I have to warn you about the starving tactic, and I would only recommend the starving tactic if you want to go for a high effectiveness. Because if the starvation is too low, so when it runs out of hunger, or if it comes below half of its food, then you might actually lose effectiveness to that. So it works, but it doesn't always work. So you have to do some math, get yourself a calculator, and see what's gonna work out best, right? So don't just starve it and then go like, whoa, why is it only 60% effectiveness? I starved it. Well, you can lose effectiveness. Be aware. Well, once you've fed them with the prime meat or a kibble or the raw meat, don't forget the narcotics, of course, or the berries to keep the Tyrannosaurus knocked out. You can craft a saddle that you can craft at level 40, which costs 180 hide, 100 fiber, and 50 metal ingots if you learn it from the normal recipe. Of course, there's blueprints, and those saddles are more expensive. Once tamed, the Tyrannosaurus utility is mainly focused around fighting. You can use it as a tank or hunter. Possessing a huge health pool, the Tyrannosaurus also inflicts greater damage and moves much faster when compared to bulkier tanks. Plus, it's one of the best creatures at harvesting raw and prime meat from the corpses. When leveling a Tyrannosaurus into a tank or hunter, you want to spend your XP on health and damage. And I also recommend getting some stamina because you don't want to run out of stamina when you're fighting. Alternatively, it can be used as a carriage or a transport animal. Decent speed and carry weight make it decent for transporting goods. Very few would dare to challenge a Rex convoy. If this is more your cup of tea, then level up the stamina, speed, and weight. That concludes our first Dino Dossier. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And if you don't mind, leave a rating on the video because it really helps us out. And if you want to see more of this, then subscribe and we'll keep doing this. And I hope to see you next time.